Most recent release in the Twilight Movie saga series is simply terrific. The first one I thought was well done. The acting competent, the writing restrained, the camera work very interesting with muted colors to capture the notion of, well, Twilight. This second installment in the series, however, has a great deal more action from my perspective, more tension, and more interest as Bella is torn between being loyal to her eternal love, Kellan, or moving on with her life after he leaves her. That is the tension of the movie. And of course, new supernatural elements come in. What a neighborhood she lives in. Not only was there a family of vampires nearby, but it seems there was a nice group of werewolves. Now, from my youth, I always thought that the only good vampire was a dead undead person. Never trusted them. Didn't like them walking around in tuxedos in castles. Staying up all night and sleeping all day just wasn't me. I always felt sympathy, however, for the werewolves. A good, decent fella, minding his own business, happens to get bit. Next thing you know, one day a month he's running through the forest naked, howling at the moon, once in a while perhaps devouring a Romanian peasant or two in the Carpathian Mountains. This new mythology, however, casts both vampires and werewolves in an entirely new light. An intriguing, fictional development. But it's the emotional tension of a young woman who really has bad luck in love. She's not a good role model for young girls in the sense that if a man says, really, I love you because I can't read your thoughts, but I have this temptation to suck the life out of you, well, you might move on to someone else. Or if a young man says, I really like you a lot, but I have this little problem with my temper, which might have me bite your head off. Well, when you hear that, you might say, time for me to go to the prom with the computer nerd. Just a little tip. The movie, however, really has a lot of action, tension, and interesting plot developments to keep the viewer really engaged from beginning to end. And the camera work is quite creative, and it also captures the dreamlike mood of the whole saga. Now, obviously, there are no such thing as werewolves, despite what cryptozoologists might think as they traipse around the Carpathian Mountains following the lead of Romanian peasants. And vampires, of course, are simply a work of fiction. This movie is just to be enjoyed for the fantasy that it is. There is, of course, a very surprising ending, which will keep all of the devotees of this series anxious to see the next release, whatever it may be. I pray that all the artists, writers, and directors of all movie theater, of all motion picture series, will always keep in mind that their task is to delight and entertain us without corrupting us. I think this movie falls in that category. God bless you, and may you have a life filled with real romance, real adventure, and find that behind it all there is a mystery greater than any fiction writer could capture. It seems like it's getting a little sunny out in the woods now, and I could hear something howling in the distance. Maybe it's time for me to go and post this video online.